Welcome to the God Quiz channel. Are you ready for a new challenge? Before we dive in, show your support by giving us a like, subscribing, and commenting Amen below. Don't forget to share how many questions you answered correctly at the end. So, let's get started. Question 1. Who saw a bush that burned with fire but was not consumed? A. Moses. B. Abraham. C. Jacob. D. Elijah. The right answer is letter A. There, the angel of the Lord appeared to him in a blazing fire from within a bush. Moses saw the bush ablaze with fire, but it was not consumed. So Moses thought, I must go over and see this marvelous sight. Why is the bush not burning up? Question 2. Who wrestled with God until daybreak? A. Jacob. B. David. C. Samson. D. Gideon. The right answer is letter A. So Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him till daybreak. When the man saw that he could not overpower him, he touched the socket of Jacob's hip, so that his hip was wrenched as he wrestled with the man. Question 3. Who heard the voice of God asking, Whom shall I send, and who will go for us? A. Moses. B. Jeremiah. C. Ezekiel. D. Isaiah. The right answer is letter D. Then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, Whom shall I send, and who will go for us? And I said, Here am I. Send me. Question 4. What was the mysterious handwriting on the wall during Belshazzar's feast? A. Holy, holy, holy Lord. B. Alpha, Omega, beginning, end. C. Mina, Mina, Tekel, Parson. D. Salvation, glory, power. The right answer is letter C. Therefore he sent the hand that wrote the inscription. Now this is the inscription that was written, Min, Mina, Tekel, Parson. And this is the interpretation of the message. Many means that God has numbered the days of your reign and brought it to an end. Question 5. Who saw a vision of 4 beasts coming up from the sea? A. Daniel. B. John. C. Ezekiel. D. Isaiah. The right answer is letter A. Daniel declared, In my vision in the night I looked, and suddenly the 4 winds of heaven were churning up the great sea. Then 4 great beasts came up out of the sea, each one different from the others. Question 6. Who dreamed of angels ascending and descending on a ladder reaching to heaven? A. Jacob. B. Joseph. C. Solomon. D. David. The right answer is letter B. And taking one of the stones from that place, he put it under his head and lay down to sleep. And Jacob had a dream about a ladder that rested on the earth with its top reaching up to heaven, and God's angels were going up and down the ladder. Question 7. Who was instructed to write on a scroll about the end times and then eat it? A. John. B. Ezekiel. C. Daniel. D. Isaiah. The right answer is letter B. Son of man, he said to me, eat what you find here. Eat this scroll, then go and speak to the house of Israel. So I opened my mouth, and he fed me the scroll. Son of man, he said to me, eat and fill your stomach with this scroll I am giving you. Question 8. Who saw a vision of a ram and a goat that symbolized future empires? A. Ezekiel. B. Isaiah. C. Daniel. D. John. The right answer is letter C. I looked up, and there before me was a ram with 2 horns standing beside the canal, and the horns were long. As I was thinking about this, suddenly a goat with a prominent horn between his eyes came from the west, crossing the whole earth without touching the ground. Question 9. Who was transformed into a creature with feathers like eagles? A. Nebuchadnezzar. B. Herod. C. Pharaoh. D. Belshazzar. The right answer is letter A. Immediately what had been said about Nebuchadnezzar was fulfilled. He was driven away from people and ate grass like the ox. His body was drenched with the dew of heaven until his hair grew like the feathers of an eagle and his nails like the claws of a bird. Question 10. Who heard a voice from heaven when being baptized? A. Paul. B. John the Baptist. C. Peter. D. Jesus. The right answer is letter D. As soon as Jesus was baptized, he went up out of the water. At that moment, heaven was opened, and he saw the Spirit of God descending like a dove and alighting on him. And a voice from heaven said, "This is my Son, whom I love. With him I am well pleased." Question 11. Who was commanded to buy a potter's field as a sign to the people? A. Jeremiah. B. Zechariah. C. Hosea. D. Isaiah. The right answer is letter B. I told them, "If you think it best, give me my pay, but if not, keep it." So they paid me 30 pieces of silver, and the Lord said to me, "Throw it to the potter, the handsome price at which they valued me." So I took the 30 pieces of silver and threw them to the potter at the house of the Lord. Question 12. Who saw a vision of a man clothed in linen with a belt of fine gold? A. John. B. Ezekiel. C. Daniel. D. Isaiah. The right answer is letter C. On the 24th day of the first month, as I was standing on the bank of the great river, the Tigris, I lifted up my eyes, and behold, there was a certain man dressed in linen, with a belt of fine gold from Uphaz around his waist. Question 13. Who was told to eat bread cooked over dung as a symbol of the siege of Jerusalem? A. Ezekiel. B. Isaiah. C. Jeremiah. D. Hosea. The right answer is letter A. Eat the food as you would a barley cake. Bake it in the sight of the people, using human excrement for fuel. Then I said, Not so, sovereign Lord. I have never defiled myself. The Lord then said to me, Very well, I will let you bake your bread over cow dung instead of human excrement. Question 14. Who survived being thrown into a den of lions? A. Jonah. B. Daniel. C. Joseph. D. Jeremiah. The right answer is letter B. So the king gave the order, and they brought Daniel and threw him into the lion's den. At the first light of dawn, the king got up and hurried to the lion's den. When he came near the den, he called to Daniel in an anguished voice. Question 15. Who saw God seated on his throne with the train of his robe filling the temple? A. John. B. Ezekiel. C. Daniel. D. Isaiah. The right answer is letter D. In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord seated on a throne, high and exalted, and the train of his robe filled the temple. Above him stood seraphim, each having 6 wings. With 2 wings they covered their faces, with 2 they covered their feet, and with 2 they were flying. Question 16. Who made an axe head float on water? A. Samuel. B. Elijah. C. Moses. D. Elisha. The right answer is letter D. As one of them was cutting down a tree, the iron axe head fell into the water. "Oh no, my lord," he cried out. "It was borrowed." The man of God asked, "Where did it fall?" When he showed him the place, Elisha cut a stick and threw it there, and made the iron float. Question 17. Who was instructed by God to lay on his side for 390 days as a sign to Israel? A. Ezekiel. B. Jeremiah. C. Hosea. D. Isaiah. The right answer is letter A. Then lie on your left side and put the sin of the people of Israel upon yourself. You are to bear their sin for the number of days you lie on your side. I have assigned you the same number of days as the years of their sin. So for 390 days you will bear the sin of the people of Israel. Question 18. Who was the queen that the king could not refuse when she requested a vineyard for her husband? A. Esther. B. Jezebel. C. Bathsheba. D. Vashti. The right answer is letter B. And he replied, I will not give you my vineyard. But his wife Jezebel said to him, Do you not reign over Israel? Get up, eat some food, and be cheerful, for I will get you the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite. Question 19. Who encountered an angel with a drawn sword on the road to a foreign land? A. Gideon. B. Joshua. C. Balaam. D. Samuel. The right answer is letter C. But God was very angry when he went, and the angel of the Lord stood in the road to oppose him. Balaam was riding on his donkey, and his 2 servants were with him. When the donkey saw the angel of the Lord standing in the road with a drawn sword in his hand, it turned off the road into a field. Question 20. Who saw a scroll flying, which represented the curse going out over the whole land? A. Zechariah. B. Daniel. C. John. D. Isaiah. The right answer is letter A. I looked again, and there before me was a flying scroll. He asked me, What do you see? I answered, I see a flying scroll, 20 cubits long and 10 cubits wide. And he said to me, This is the curse that is going out over the whole land. Question 21. Who was told his descendants would be as numerous as the stars? A. Jacob. B. Isaac. C. Abraham. D. David. The right answer is letter C. Then the word of the Lord came to Abram, saying, This one will not be your heir, but one who comes from your own body will be your heir. And the Lord took him outside and said, Now look to the heavens and count the stars if you are able. Then he told him, So shall your offspring be. Question 22. Who found a mysterious book of the law during temple renovations? A. Ahab. B. Hezekiah. C. Solomon. D. Josiah. The right answer is letter D. Hilkiah the high priest said to Shaphan the secretary, I have found the book of the law in the temple of the Lord. He gave it to Shaphan, who read it. Question 23. Who was visited by 3 men who predicted the birth of his son? A. Isaac. B. Lot. C. Abraham. D. Jacob. The right answer is letter C. The Lord appeared to Abraham near the great trees of Mamre while he was sitting at the entrance to his tent in the heat of the day. Abraham looked up and saw 3 men standing nearby. Question 24. Who had his life extended by 15 years as a sign from God involving a sundial? A. Josiah. B. Hezekiah. C. David. D. Solomon. The right answer is letter B. I have heard your prayer and seen your tears. I will heal you. On the third day from now you will go up to the temple of the Lord. I will add 15 years to your life, and I will deliver you and this city from the hand of the king of Assyria. Question 25. Who interpreted a dream about 7 fat cows and 7 lean cows? A. Joseph. B. Daniel. C. Solomon. D. Samuel. The right answer is letter A. Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, "In my dream I was standing on the bank of the Nile when 7 cows, well-fed and sleek, came up from the river and began to graze among the reeds. After them, 7 other cows, sickly, ugly, and thin, came up. I have never seen such ugly cows in all the land of Egypt." Question 26. Who saw the heavens opened and something like a large sheet being let down to earth? A. John. B. Peter. C. Paul. D. James. The right answer is letter B. He saw heaven open and something like a large sheet being let down to earth by its 4 corners. It contained all kinds of 4-footed animals and reptiles of the earth, as well as birds of the air. Then a voice said to him, "Get up, Peter, kill and eat." Question 27. Who used a fleece to test God's will regarding battle? A. Saul. B. Samson. C. David. D. Gideon. The right answer is letter D. Gideon said to God, "If you will save Israel by my hand as you have promised, look, I will place a wool fleece on the threshing floor. If there is dew only on the fleece and all the ground is dry, then I will know that you will save Israel by my hand, as you said." Question 28. What type of bird was sent out by Noah after the raven to see if the water had receded from the earth? A. Dove. B. Sparrow. C. Eagle. D. Finch. The right answer is letter A. Then Noah sent out a dove to see if the waters had receded from the surface of the ground. But the dove found no place to rest her foot, and she returned to him in the ark, because the waters were still covering the surface of all the earth. So he reached out his hand and brought her back inside the ark. Question 29. Who was the prophet that married a prostitute as a symbol of God's relationship with unfaithful Israel? A. Hosea. B. Amos. C. Isaiah. D. Micah. The right answer is letter A. This is the word of the Lord that came to Hosea son of Beeri in the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah, and of Jeroboam son of Jehoash, a king of Israel, when the Lord first spoke through Hosea. Question 30. Who was the king who tore his robe when he heard the reading of the law, realizing that the nation had not been obeying God? A. Hezekiah. B. Josiah. C. David. D. Solomon. The right answer is letter A. When the king heard the words of the book of the law, he tore his clothes and commanded Hilkiah the priest, Ahikam son of Shaphan, Achborah son of Micaiah, Shaphan the scribe, and Asaiah the servant of the king, "Go and inquire of the Lord for me, for the people, and for all Judah concerning the words in this book that has been found." Write on the comments how many questions you answered correctly. If you like this quiz, rate it with the like button. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Amen.